Hey everybody, welcome to Gut Health, Happiness, and Beyond. We are so excited to join with you this evening and share. So I am Elizabeth Heffner. I'm an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and I am joined by some amazing people. So we have Lauren Smithson. She's also an Emerald with Plexus. Debble Winn. She's a super fun, holistic nurse, and she'll be joining us. Nicole Spellman is just a super crunchy mama. She's had an amazing health journey, and we can't wait to learn from her. And my friend Melissa Allen is an occupational therapist, and Phallin Black is our diamond of our big team, and we're so excited to build on her knowledge as well. She has been super crunchy, super natural minded for a lot of years, and she just has so much knowledge and so many things to share. So what I wanted to talk about tonight is just how important immunity is, how important gut health is. So I am a physical therapist. I have a doctorate degree. I've been doing this for nearly 18 years, a physical therapist. And what I really love about therapy is that it's hands-on. It's about a natural approach, about helping people through exercise, helping people through some manual therapy techniques, and so much more. We actually do a lot. And I happen to right now be a physical therapist in a hospital situation. And so what we're seeing is a lot of immune challenges with this national pandemic and worldwide pandemic that we're having. And the more that I've learned along my natural health journey with supplementation and diet changes, which has been going on for 10 years, is that we really, really need to address the core issues. And those really come into play with gut health and blood sugar regulation, because that regulates our hormones and so much more. And the other thing to remember is that we only are as good as our supplements absorb. So there's a lot of choices out there. And what I really want to share with you tonight with these wonderful ladies on the call is that we want you to have an informed decision. You know, there's a lot of things coming at us from a lot of different angles, and we want you to feel empowered to make an appropriate decision for your family, and to also be confident that we have solutions out there to keep our bodies healthy, and that we don't need to live in fear, because that's not good for our well-being at all. And it's really, really important to have informed choices and look at things from different angles and use our thought processes. So I have been with Plexus for 4 years, and I've been continually impressed with the quality of ingredients that they use, with the amazing thought and care that they put into what they deliver out to us, out to people. Anyone has this option to buy from them. And it's just been really eye-opening to see so much care and so much amazing leadership from the top down being demonstrated. I've been just very, very impressed. And I would love to talk to you about that more on different avenues or different occasions. So you can always leave comments in this call, and we are happy to get back in and answer those. And feel free to share this call, share the link, because it's really important that we help our friends and family make an informed choice. So without further ado, Lauren Smithson is going to tell us a little bit more.
Hi everybody, I'm Lauren Smithson, an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus, and I've been taking Plexus products for 2.5 years, and they have completely changed my health and my life. So I can't wait to talk to you guys about them tonight. I have 4 in particular that I'm gonna kind of highlight, but first I'm gonna give you kind of the background on why it's so important. So a lot of people right now are talking about their immunity, building up their immunity, just being overall healthy. And I think it's really important that we think about all the different aspects of health. So a lot of people, when they think of being healthy, think of all the foods that they're eating, of course. Want to have a really solid diet, especially with lots of different plants, good sources of protein, lots of water. And then we also want to make sure that we're exercising. These things are really important. Getting our bodies moving, getting out in fresh air, all of those things are going to help to build our immunity. But that only gets you so far, right? We have those really two great options, but then we need to supplement as well, which is why we are here tonight to talk to you about these, because our soil has actually been depleted for quite a long time, and we're not getting the amount of nutrients that we get from the same food sources. So what we all do here on this call, and all the people in Plexus, is we supplement and fill the gaps with these amazing products that we have. Now, there has been a lot of research done that shows that 70 to 80% of our immune fighting army basically resides in our gut. So we need to make sure that we have all the right people or all the right things in there to fight off any germs we're exposed to, mold, bad bacteria, chemicals, anything pollutant out in the earth. We need to have some really good things in our body to fight those things off. And so what we do is make sure that our gut is nice and strong, and all the lining of it is really solid. And then we make sure that we have good things coming continuously back in there to make sure that we're fighting those things as well as we can. Some of the other things that can make our gut kind of break down, besides the chemicals and things that we're exposed to, are things like stress, having a poor diet, and just not taking care of ourselves in general. So those things, along with all the things that we're exposed to, can really harm the lining of our gut and can actually make kind of holes in our gut and make it leaky, so that there's not as firm a foundation there, and then we're losing some of the nutrients that we're getting in anyway. So some of the things that we like to do is, like I said, we need to kind of patch up those holes. So the two products that I love for patching the holes and making our gut lining really strong so that nothing's slipping through the cracks is our Ease and our X Factor Plus. So the Ease is really great. It's a natural anti-inflammatory. There is green lipped mussel in it, turmeric. It's really, really phenomenal. This is actually one of the most underrated products, I think, and it's one of my favorites. This is going to help soothe your gut and make it heal a lot faster. And then along with our multivitamin here, the X Factor Plus, this has all methylated ingredients in it, which means that when we take it in, our body can absorb it right away, and it doesn't have to be broken down anywhere. These are all the most bioavailable forms of the nutrients that we need that we're not getting enough of in our foods. So then this also has aloe in it, and that soothes everything as well. It's a really nice healing agent, and it also helps us absorb everything that we're eating, drinking, and all the other supplements that we're taking 300 to 400% more. So these two together are an unstoppable combo. I really, really love them. And they are going to be what patches those holes, makes your gut lining really, really healthy, so that even if you're, stressed or something like that, it can help to maintain those walls so that you have good fighters there, basically. So then after we've fixed the walls and patched them up, we want to make sure that we have really good fighters waiting to get rid of some of or kind of fight off all of the bad things we're exposed to, right? So we have a couple different probiotics, and I'm going to kind of explain the differences of them, but try to keep it as brief as possible. But these two probiotics are incredible, and these are going to be what fight off the bad things, and they're waiting there to get rid of the bad stuff that we're exposed to. So we've got our Probio 5, which is our primary probiotic here with Plexus, and it is incredible because not only does it have all of the good bacteria that we need to be adding in, but it also can break down some of the bad that we have going on in here too. So if we have too much overgrowth of yeast or bad bacteria, then our digestive enzymes and antifungal that is also in here can break those down and get them out of our gut, so that we're getting rid of the bad while we're adding good, which is amazing. And it has something called chitosanase in it that can actually break through the outer shell of those bad bacteria. There are very few, if not any at all, that have that probiotics that have that in that, and ours does. And it has the digestive enzymes along with it, and all the other things, the good things that we need. And then we have our Vital Biome that has another 8 strains of bacteria, good bacteria in there. And these actually can help with some of that anxiety and things like that we're dealing with. So that can help our stress levels stay down too, which then can prevent those holes from happening in. So these 4 products together are going to be so instrumental for your overall gut health. And like I said, 70 to 80% of what we're exposed, or of our, common ailments are linked to our gut health. So if we can get that under control, then our health is really going to soar and really be great. So that's kind of the foundation of that. And yeah, I hope that was informational for you. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it along to Nicole Spellman.
Hey everyone, I am super excited to join these ladies and talk to you tonight. Elizabeth had asked me to share a little bit about mindset and positivity, especially in times like this where we can be a little stressed at times because so much is not in our control. So a few things that instantly come to mind for me when I think about having a positive mindset and lifestyle, because I think it's almost a lifestyle choice, is to journal every day. Journal the things that you see as blessings in your life. And that can be as simple as like 3 things you saw that day that just caught your eye and made you smile, whether it's a cute thing your kid said, a butterfly flying by, puppies on the street. I know Lauren loves walking her sweet dog every day. I have journaled my entire life, and I can look back and see at times that when I'm choosing to look for the good, I'm happier. So I just know it works like that. Another thing that we can do to increase positivity in our life is turn off the TV. Taking in all the news and all the information can sometimes just overload us. It is better to create positive mindset through introducing positive things, and whether that is turning on worship music, watching a Disney show with your kiddos, baking cakes if that's your thing, doing crafts if that's your thing. The thing I will say about that is, though, don't add to your plate in a time like this with things that don't come naturally to you or bring joy to you. So if baking's not your thing, busting out cookies with your kids is probably not the thing to choose to do today. Something else you can choose to do to create positivity in your life is ignore the negative, or like Facebook lets us do, unfollow or snooze that negative person. There's just no reason to constantly be, bombarded with that in your feed. Choose that your feed is going to inspire you and bring you joy. And the last thing that always comes to mind for me is getting in a little sunshine and drinking your water. Those 2 things just give your body just some of the basics that it needs. We're not plants, but we're sort of like plants. Sunshine and water are good for us. So take that walk, take your kids out in the backyard, whatever the restrictions might be for where you are right now. Of course, adhere to that, but definitely get out and get some vitamin D and hydrate yourself. So I hope that helps give you just a few things to think about in staying positive in our lives right now. And I am going to pass it on to Debbie.
Hello, thank you, Nicole. I am Debble Winn. I am a float and critical care nurse for 13 years already, which is so crazy. And I have studied holistic health for a long time because I have had numerous thyroid issues. And then in the last year, my baby has had lots of autoimmune and allergy issues. So holistic health and doing what we can to support and build our immune system naturally is something that I am super passionate and excited about. And as a mom, a nurse, a wife of an emergency room, a frontline worker, I know that many of us have felt a lot of stress over the last few weeks. Physical stress, emotional stress, and just stress of the unknown. In so many ways, we can experience stress. So I want to talk a little bit about stress and how it affects our body. So we've heard some amazing tips for things that we can do to lower our stress level. And this is important because when our bodies are stressed, we release a hormone called cortisol. It's released by our adrenal glands, which sit on top of our kidneys. And essentially, we have this fight or flight response, which is great when you are faced with a fire or an emergency and you need to run. It's an amazing, innate way that our body helps to protect us. But when we are constantly exposed to this and we aren't running from a fire, we aren't being chased by a bear, we start to have a lot of negative health effects because it's not something that's meant to happen all the time. And so when we're constantly in this heightened cortisol response, we start to get some very specific things that negatively impact our overall health. And some of these are, we just feel exhausted and overwhelmed. Often people say they have trouble making simple choices. Everything seems daunting. We have something called brain fog, so you can't make clear decisions. You feel like you can't think clearly. You feel frustrated. Your metabolism starts to slow, and often people, when they are stressed, start eating more sugar and comfort food, which again has a lot of negative health effects of its own, kind of like Lauren mentioned when she talked about our gut having good, having a good tight junction, not having leaky gut or increased permeability. So when we're in this state and we're choosing to eat foods that aren't good for us, we're also increasing that reaction. And then people just feel, you often see people on edge, or they are more selfish when they're in a heightened cortisol response. You may have recently seen in the news people fighting in the grocery store over things that are so incredibly trivial, things that don't even really matter. And it's because of this heightened cortisol, just feeling overwhelmed response. It also unbalances our blood sugar, which causes a cascade effect of a lot of other things. Diabetes and the results of diabetes are a huge problem in America. And I can tell you as a nurse, I every day see people who struggle with something related to their blood sugar not being balanced. Things from them craving more sweets, depressing their immune system, their organs not functioning like they should, gaining weight, their liver not being happy. And those are just a few things that can happen when your blood sugar is imbalanced. So all of this together, when our cortisol is imbalanced, creates this negative cascade, throws off our blood sugar. We just feel exhausted, overwhelmed, icky, and our gut health is definitely not where it should be. So what can you do about it? Because of course this call is about positively helping you, encouraging you. So there's many things you can do. There's a lot of things you can't control, and there's some things in today's world that you just can't control. So you will have some stress, but what you can do is like Lauren talked about. You can put good, clean food in your body. This is so important because you want to make sure that you're feeding your cells the best food possible. Things like healthy meat, fruit, veggies, organic if you can, limiting your processed food, limiting your sugars, limiting your toxin intake, good, clean, pure water is all things to help your body. One of my favorite, very simple things that you can do is this amazing product called Plexus Microbiome Activating Slim. And so it's incredible because it's so simple. You literally take it and you mix it in some water. And so it's full of lots of amazing things. It has antioxidants, it has vitamins and minerals, it has prebiotics. So it has this amazing compound effect. It helps to balance your blood sugar, which just kind of helps to stabilize your overall system. Your hormones, all of your hormones are happier when your blood sugar is balanced. When your cortisol levels are balanced, Plexus Slim also helps with improving your gut health. And so it's just overall important because like Lauren mentioned, 70% of our immunity comes from our gut. So if your gut is happy, your blood sugar is happy, your adrenal glands are happy, you overall feel happier. And I've always thought and said they should have called it Plexus Balance or Calm, because so many people say when they take it, they just feel more balanced. They feel happier. They just feel more in control. So it just overall has such a positive impact on your body. And it's such a small thing that you can do every day that you can control to help your body to feel better. And when you feel better, life just feels more amazing. You can get out of that survival mode of a cortisol reaction to feeling like you are thriving and in control of things that are going on. So I hope this has been helpful to you. And I will be introducing my friend Melissa, who's going to share some fun stuff with us.
Thank you, Debbie. There was a lot of good information there. So like Debbie said, I'm Melissa. I've been with Plexus for 3 years now, and I'm also an occupational therapist, which if you don't know, an occupational therapist focuses on helping people with their activities of daily living. A lot of times people have injuries or illnesses that affect their ability to take care of themselves, dress, bathe, versus take care of other people as well, their house, their family, things like that. So I really love with Plexus, it addresses the root cause of so much of these things that cause illness in people, and then in turn not be able to do their activities of daily living and the things that they really value and give us quality in our lives, to then turn around and heal themselves with the Plexus products and feel better and be able to engage in life more. And I love Plexus products don't always address symptoms that right away you would think of digestion and starting in the gut. It's not always, necessarily gut issues like Debbie was explaining. And I am a good person to show that I started 3 years ago, because even though I appeared young and healthy and I'm a runner and enjoyed that, I started having all these issues where I was fainting and having people to catch me because I was just passing out for no reason standing at work. I was having head throbbing issues. My thyroid was all over the place and the doctors couldn't get it managed. I was tired all the time and had to take naps all the time, even though I was 25 and should be in the prime of my life. My blood sugar was out of whack. And even though the doctors ran all these tests and lab work, they just couldn't figure out what was going on with me. That everything came back that you should be healthy. So thankfully, my good friend Elizabeth, that I work with at the hospital too, said, "Hey, Melissa, I think you should really look into your gut. You might have some leaky gut going on and adrenal issues," and kind of explained everything that we've been talking to me about. So since no one else could find any issues, I went ahead and took the Plexus products, and it was amazing just addressing what was causing all the issues and causing all the leaky gut. Made me feel better right away. I remember the first day I had so much energy, and within a week I was taking on projects that I just never had the energy or felt good to be able to do. That I was down in my basement cleaning things at bedtime, and my husband had to come find me and be like, "Hey, Melissa, are you going to bed at some point? What's going on?" So it's really amazing how healing those cracks and, addressing all these things and finding the balance in your life can really make a difference. I remember even my husband, when I was feeling so crummy and just couldn't function day to day and take care of the patients at the hospital, much less myself, he wanted to start a family. And I just remember thinking, how am I going to take care of someone else if I can't even take care of myself? But thankfully, Plexus has helped me do that, and I feel so much better. And since I've had 2 amazing pregnancies with it and great deliveries and no complications, even though I was always told that I would for sure get gestational diabetes with my family history of it running on my dad's side with everyone. But I never had that. Thank goodness to Plexus and keeping my blood sugar regulated. And I love that the products too not only address physical issues and physical illness, but also can impact our mood as well. A lot like Nicole was talking about, how that even like anxiety and stuff can be caused by our gut not being in balance. That one of our friends here in Michigan, and another Plexus diamond, that Sue Yant, that she started Plexus because she was having issues with so much of that for 10 years she had issues with anxiety and feelings of overwhelming sadness and panic attacks and mood swings, and just couldn't get her life in control, on top of craving sweets despite having low blood sugar, and aches and pains with the inflammation build up in her joints and her body. But just balancing her gut health impacted that, and since she's had no more of those symptoms and has been off all the medications and prescriptions that she was taking for it, which is really incredible, because a lot of those things, people take for life. And all that's really important, especially in a time right now where there's so much anxiety going on and so much of our mood impacting what we do and our quality of life, that just finding that balance too can help you feel more regulated in life and can help you find that balance. So I'm going to pass it off to Phallin so she can tell us a little bit more too.
Hey guys, I am Phallin Black and I am a mom to 5, and I am thankfully halfway through a pregnancy with number 6. I have always been into health and nutrition, honestly, since I could read. My mom would have the little medical dictionary that says if you have the sniffles, take vitamin C, or if your bones hurt, you need calcium and magnesium or whatever. But I would carry that book around, and when someone had a symptom, I was like, here's what we need to eat. Here's the vitamins you need to take. And I've just carried that on with my own kids. They're all super healthy. They've never been to the doctor, which I know some people think is crazy, but they're just so healthy. They don't need to go. So I am very thankful for that and the ability to help them through supplements. This has always been such a passion of mine. So I am so thankful to be with Plexus for 6 years now, almost 7. This summer will be 7 years. And working out is something that we need to all be doing right now, whether it's going for a walk or just getting out there, because we need the endorphins. We need to boost our spirits. You might be getting antsy being in the house, just doing some yoga or some sort of aerobics in the house with your kids. I remember my mom would work out and we would think it was so funny. She'd have us do downward facing dog and we just thought it was so much fun. So get involved with your kids and do stuff with them. But you have to move your body, because I'm going to talk about a few products that we need. But like these ladies were saying, we have so much toxic buildup. You have to get it out, and you're not going to be able to get these toxins out if you're not moving. You have to keep things moving. Your lymphatic system, all of it. The blood has to be flowing and not just sitting there and being stagnant. So that is so important that you get up and get going and get moving. Not to mention, I had taken a few, I don't know, a year or two off, maybe a year and a half. And my chiropractor, he said, you need to be lifting weights for osteoporosis. You need to be taking care of your body, not just so you look good, but so you are strong when you're in your 60s and your 70s. And I think it's so important that we don't just think about today. It's really not about today. It's about 20 years from now. You don't want to think, oh my gosh, I wish I would have taken care of myself. And the water we drink, this is another big one. Make it a priority. Get one of those big gallon jugs on Amazon and fill it up every day and drink half of your body weight in ounces of water. It's so important that you keep things flushing through you. And for those of you who want to lose weight, if you're drinking water, the fat cells in your body need to grab onto something. It's the sugar that we eat needs to either grab onto fat cells or water. That's how it gets out of your body, is through drinking water. So if you say, I don't want to pee all the time, well, I guess you just want to choose to have the fat stored in your body. So I personally would rather just be going to the bathroom more than once a day. Your urine needs to be clear, not this yellow color or all the other things that go along with that. You need to be drinking water. It's going to help your complexion. It's going to help everything. And it's free. I mean, I know we have a water bill, but it's basically free. This is something so simple that we can do that does not cost much. The other thing that I would recommend is our product Active. I don't know if you can see this, the light's crazy, but this, number one, it tastes good. I told my husband last night I wanted some before bed, and he said, you're not having that before bed. You don't need any energy at 9 o'clock at night. So he didn't let me have it, but I'm about to drink some here because it just tastes so good. It's got this tropically mango flavor, and it has a patented blend of 7 plants in there, which are full of antioxidants. And it also has nitrite oxide, which increases your body's production. Well, it helps your body to produce that. It increases it by 150%, which is a lot. And that's important if you're working out, especially because you want those push-ups to count for something, okay? If you can work out and for 30 minutes, but it's like you worked out for an hour because your muscles are retaining and they're growing, why waste a workout? So I definitely recommend drinking this. And I told my husband, this is one of the first things I did when we got married was, that blue food dye garbage ingredient pre-workout and energy drinks, they have to go. You're going to give yourself a heart attack. All of that garbage in there. I mean, the artificial sweeteners, the preservatives, don't drink it. It's so bad for you. You need to be drinking active. This is going to give you energy without the crash. It's going to help your mood too. I'm serious. I mixed this with my microbiome slim that Debbie was talking about, and it tastes so good. Your blood sugar is balanced, your spirits are lifted, and it's all natural. I love that. The other product I want to talk about, which we have some in our bathrooms and in the pantry, and they're all over, but is BioCleanse. And this is a really bioavailable form of magnesium, which means your body can absorb it really well. And this is so important because it's going to oxygenate your blood. So as you're working out and you're moving your body, or if you're not, you still want your blood to be oxygenated. That's going to give you the energy. And most people, we're deficient in magnesium. It's just not in the soil anymore. Even if you're eating organic food, which is way better than conventional, there's just not the magnesium in there. So most people are deficient in magnesium, and you need that for so many cellular functions in your body. It's not even funny. So I definitely recommend getting that. It's also going to help you sleep better. It's going to help your body build muscle again, because they're getting that oxygen. So if you're sleeping well, you wake up feeling energized, you're going to feel happy and ready to take on the day. I homeschool my 5 kids. I have energy for that. I have energy for my husband. We garden, we're building a house. We're really busy. So we don't have time for naps all day. So keeping your energy up and having your mood elevated and just feeling happy, especially during this time where we're unsure of the future or we don't know what's going on. So much is out of our control. The one thing you can control is your body, boosting your immune system, getting yourself feeling good and thinking about your future health and not just today. It's so important. So I'm going to pass this back to Elizabeth, and she's going to talk to us.
Yes, thank you so much, all of you beautiful ladies, for joining in tonight, for sharing your wealth of knowledge. And really, guys, this is kind of the Cliff Notes version, because if you really want to dig into each ingredient and everything that you have access to with these products, it is really quite mind-blowing. I know for myself, like I was taking stuff from the doctor's office, my holistic doctor, I was taking stuff from the health food store, I was taking stuff from Amazon, and Plexus is like, now it comes to my door, I get to order it once a month, it comes to me, and I'm getting way more ingredients and way more benefits for the same amount of money that I was spending prior. So that is something that, you know, let us compare these labels with something you may already be taking, or oh, my doctor recommended this, but I couldn't find it anywhere. And right now, I mean, there's a vitamin shortage in the normal grocery stores and in Walmart and GNC. And you know what? You have to also consider the quality. So I have read a lot, and I've also set boundaries on how much I'm reading. I work in a hospital. Like I see people being very, very sick, and it's really, really unfortunate. The most unfortunate thing too is before this hit our world, people were dying every day in the hospital out of things that could be avoided. Lifestyle diseases, things that we've talked about here. The people maybe didn't have an acute respiratory illness and die in a couple of weeks, but they every day were not living and getting better. They were suffering. And that's why I have a job as a physical therapist, is because I was helping people with the complications that they have from diabetes or from heart disease or a myriad of things, nerve damage. I mean, it just, the list goes on and on. So we really want to take our health seriously. We want to be as preventative as possible. Like I said, we could talk for hours about all of this. And one of the things that a lot of things I've read from mainstream physicians posting and commenting and putting articles out there in this current pandemic is I'm like, oh, that's in Plexus. Oh, that's in Plexus. Oh, that's in Plexus. I have a Word doc saved of article after article after article after article. Debbie and I send each other articles like, hey, check this one out, you know? And so this is not something that we come to you lightheartedly. Like we come to you because we want for you to experience what we have, We want to provide that information to you, and we want you to feel empowered that you can do your research. You can compare ingredients. You can read the article and say, I need to try and incorporate this, and how am I going to do that? So please, please, please put comments and questions in the comments so that we can help address this with you. Reach out to whoever invited you to this call, or reach out to one of us, because that's definitely why we're here. We are so passionate, and I'm like, Melissa's story is just one of my favorites. She was young and supposed to be healthy and passing out at work. I am more than 10 years older than this girl, and I'm like, wait, why are you passing out? Like, this isn't okay. You know, we have to do something. And she touched on it, but she had 2 very amazing pregnancies, proper weight gain, awesome blood sugar, energy. She competed in her first triathlon in her first trimester of her first pregnancy. And that's just incredible. Like, I wish that I had a plexus pregnancy. I have 4 kids, and I did not have a plexus pregnancy, and I'm like almost tempted, but I'm not going there. So anyway, we thank you so much for your time. Please don't hesitate to comment and to reach out, because that's definitely why we're here, and we hope that you have a great night.